YouTube takes the longest. All right, we're live. It's all yours.
Hello, everybody on Beyonce's wonderful internet. My name is Reggie, and this is the Berkeley Poetry Slam Quarantine Edition. Yes, coming back at you for the 6th month in a row. Let us out, wear a mask, stay home so I can go out. But yes, we are back here another week bringing live poetry right into your home. But before we begin the show, I have to thank the people that make this fucking possible. Like, I don't know if you know, but like, we've been providing free workshops, poetry slam, poetry events for the public, but we have not stopped paying our artists, our educators, our features, and the people that help make this happen, which means we've been doing things for free and these things aren't free to do. And the only reason we've been able to continue this work is because of our lovely patrons over at patreon.com. Patreon is a service where you can sponsor artists and organizations that are doing amazing work in your community. We have a lovely community of patrons, and I'd like to thank some in particular. First, I'd like to thank Renee Edmonds and Emily Chow and Calla Lily for being regulars. Thank you so much for your amazing support. I'd also love to give a shout out to Jessica Kozakic for sponsoring our writing workshops. We have 7 writing workshops a month. Your support makes a difference in the education and the curriculum that we are able to provide. And last, but certainly not least, I'd love to give a special Rich Oak shout out to Alice Grimm and Sarah O'Connell for sponsoring the Allen Bluford Center, one of our venues, pledging $100 a month to make sure that the necessary anti-police brutality community organizing work that happens within our Oakland and East Bay communities still happens, and that space is still open, especially after the pandemic, to the public, so we can continue to have events where we bring folks together in love and unity and resistance. So I'd love to thank all of our patrons. And if you would like to become a patron, you can head on over to patreon.com/richoakevents to join and help support all of the amazing work that we do. That being said, let's get all up in this show. We have a wonderful show tonight. We have an amazing feature kicking off the night. We got a poetry slam, but before we begin, gotta lay down some ground rules. First, for you sitting at home, yes, you have rules. It may be your house, but I run this motherfucker now. First, I need you to like, share, subscribe on whatever platform you're on, whether it's YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, because we do this every week. Every week? Yes, every week. And you don't want to miss out on the next lit ass poetry event because you weren't tapped in. So make sure you hit that subscribe and like button so you can stay tuned. And I need you to show maximum love in the comment section. Like, I need you to be giving like heart emojis and clap emojis and like screaming, because we're not here with you. And I don't know about the rest of these people, but it's really nice. I feel really good when I go back to the live stream and look at the comments and see all of the wonderful and encouraging and uplifting things y'all have to say about the poets. So if not to show love for the poets, to ease my depression tonight when I go back into the live stream to read the comments, say something nice about a poet and make me smile and hopefully not cry myself to sleep. Mwah. But yeah, next, speaking of poets and love, y'all have rules too, poets. No props, no costumes, no musical accompaniment other than what you can make with your body. No nudity. Please don't test me. It is a family ass live stream. So we don't need non-family oriented ass cheeks. Yeah. But most important than the no nudity rule is the time limit. Y'all have 3 minutes with a grace period of 10 seconds to spit your own original work. After 3 minutes and 10 seconds, you will be deducted by our deducted points by our scorekeeper Prophet. After 4 minutes, you normally would get played off stage by our DJ, but like it's Zoom, so it's gonna be like just as awkward as every Zoom meeting because you're just gonna get muted and I'm gonna have to continue the show and I'm gonna feel bad and you're gonna feel bad and we're not gonna talk about it because it's gonna be hella awkward. There's just gonna be an air of like, wow, that really happened, and like, yeah, that really happened, and yeah, it's just not gonna be good. So don't go over 4 minutes. Boom. Speaking of scores and penalties, judges, y'all have rules too. Y'all have the hardest job tonight. You have to judge the poetry openly. Judges, you will be judging from a 0.0 to 10.0 scale. 0.0 being the worst piece of shit you ever heard in your life. It's like a Trump presidency. Not going to say anymore. A 10.0 is the best thing you have ever heard in the history of your life. It is like the abolition of the United States because this is an illegitimate settler state. We are just a colony of Britain masquerading as a country, and now we have gotten out of timeout and realized it is fucked for us. So, yeah, a 10.0 is the abolition of all things evil. A 0.0 is all things evil. Point being, there's not a lot of zeros, there's not a lot of 10s, score accordingly. There's this thing called score creep, where as the night goes on, you know, I don't know what you're doing in your own home. Might be a little drink, might be a little smoke, don't know. But you know, as the night goes on, the poetry starts to sound better. That is, and the scores start to get higher. That's not fair for the people that go first. So to mitigate that, we have a sacrificial poet. Think of it as a calibration poet. They'll be going first. They're not going to be competing, but you're going to score them like they are. Any poems you don't like as much, score them lower. Any poems you like more than that, score them higher. Cool. So there's that. Word of the day. Word of the day is a time-honored tradition here at the Berkeley Slam. It is also a gimmick. I think that it can be held as both because we live in a world of duality. But more important than its purpose is what happens. The word of the day is where we force poets to jam a word from the Merriam-Webster word of the day into their poems for an extra point. It has no purpose other than to make me smile at all of the ways that poets will try to force this word into their poems. So our word of the day is crabwise, which means sideways, or in a sliding or cautiously indirect manner. So if you use crabwise or any of its forms, crabwiseology, I don't know, you get an extra point. Yeah, let's see, I think that is all for the rules. Lit. So yeah, tonight we have a really cool lineup of poets in our slam, but we do have our feature FreeQuency. We're gonna kick our night off with our feature because time zones suck. Time zones are racist. I'm gonna go ahead and say time zones are racist. Time is racist. So time zones automatically have to be racist because they are zoning time, which is segregating time, which is also already a racist thing. They don't want you to know this in Trump's America. But our feature is the amazing FreeQuency, and I'm just going to read their bio real quick. Mwende FreeQuency Katwiwa is a Kenyan immigrant queer women storyteller, the 2018 Women of the World Poetry Slam champion, a 2017 TEDWomen speaker, and ranked 3rd at the 2015 Individual World Poetry Slam. FreeQuency is a highly sought after performer, host, social justice teaching artist, and workshop leader. Rooted in various global communities and having spent their life at the intersection of arts, education, and activism, they and or their work in reproductive justice, Black Lives Matter organizing and activism, LGBTQ plus advocacy and writing have been featured in The Independent, The New York Times, OkayAfrica, Upworthy, TEDx, For Harriet, Teen Vogue, Huffington Post, Everyday Feminism, and other outlets. FreeQuency is a founding co-chair of the New Orleans chapter of the Black Youth Project 100, a co-founding committee member of the New Orleans Youth Open Mic, festival coordinator for the New Orleans Youth Poetry Festival, a blogger with the AfroFashion and culture blog Noirlinians, and a member of Wildseeds, the New Orleans Octavia Butler Emergent Strategy Collective. I don't know about you, but like I got all warm and fuzzy inside reading that bio. So I need y'all to give like the biggest, you've never given a round of applause before and you're really excited to do it. Like the biggest round of applause to your feature for the night, FreeQuency.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for having me. Where to start? I'll start with this poem here because I feel like I have to read it every time somebody reads my full bio. Relax. Supposed to pick a sentence or two, not the whole thing. It was written in 2014. It was at a time when, I guess 2014 is when FreeQuency became a thing. And there was a way that, you know, becoming FreeQuency dehumanized me in particular ways and didn't allow me full access to my humanity. And it felt like the only container that I could exist in for a while was the bios that people put. And by people, I also mean myself, because I bitch write their own bios. So this is just a reflection on what it means to live up to a paragraph about your best self when you're just a human being. So author's bio of 2014. 1. The bio reads, poet, producer for the Vagina Monologues, voted first ever Feminist of the Year by the Feminist Majority Foundation, reads top graduate of 2014 from Tulane University, is one of the Tulane 34. The bio never gives or asks for explanation as long as it sounds good on paper. It never questions what it means to be voted Feminist of the Year when feminism is not about women competing. It never tells how I almost quit the Vagina Monologues after nearly drowning in waves of white women's tears, how I stayed afloat by clutching brown skin buoys that kept me alive in the same seas that threatened to submerge them. The bio reads, token. It tells all how sunlight bright I shone. It never tells how college felt like a pinball machine. The flippers were the people who pushed me in whatever direction shone the bonus lights right back at them. It doesn't tell how careless hands have spent me, and I still wonder if I was ever made of gold or just another coin to be played. 2. If the bio read like the life that is hiding behind it, it would read, I faked it till I made it, and sometimes I don't know what parts of myself are real anymore. It would read, I started smoking weed at 13 and I haven't been sober since. It would read, I can't remember most of my youth because of this, and sometimes I know that's a good thing. It would read, the girl who never learned to say no. Would read, the girl who learned that some people won't listen even if you do. They will turn your body into a battleground and leave you to seed your spirit in a way that their violence never could. It would read, this body is tired of being battleground. It has learned there are no winners in the civil war of the self, no matter how long or noble the struggle. 3. When people ask me how I got to where and who I am today, I don't think they want to know how many mornings I'm exhausted. Another night spent stressing every small thing I said, each word, a fist I used to beat myself for opening my mouth at all. I don't think they want to know how many mornings I'm exhausted. Another night spent stressing every small thing I did not say, each silence, a sword I used to cut myself down with. I want to tell them, I am so much more and so much less than my bio could ever tell you. But if the bio read like the life that can no longer hide behind it, it would read, I am 24, going on burnt out, and sometimes I can't wait to be my own ashes, dancing freely in the wind. All right. So. I forgot to note what time I started, so y'all let me know when I'm getting close to when I should stop. And until then, I will just read some poems. So this is a piece, I'll probably read a bunch of unfinished ones, to be honest, or like unedited ones, just because 2020 just feels like an unedited year. So just fuck it, I'm gonna match the background. And this one, I feel like I keep trying to write, and I'm also just so tired of writing the same poems. Like, in 2015, I was really heavy into organizing, like frontline organizing, and so much of my writing is a reflection of what it is that I'm doing. And it's been really difficult to be in this moment and not actually be out organizing, but still be trying to write through this moment and honor what is actually happening out on the streets, and also really thinking about what it means to be resisting in other ways, and not just even resisting the moment that we're in right now, but actually just living beyond this moment and creating viable alternative worlds, as opposed to trying to fight for or fight through this one. And so if you've also ever been to one of my shows, you know that I give out a sticker to people that says the poem is a protest. And someone just asked me to articulate what I meant by that, and I never really did. And then in the midst of the protests that were going on with George Floyd, I found myself really looking around to all of the different ways that people were showing up in protest and trying to articulate that. So, and also just as a note, my technology is all over the place. Like my camera's here, but my screen is here. So I'm not just like being super emo and like not making eye contact. I can't see my screen and read my words otherwise. So, okay. Poem is a protest. 1. I've heard that a protest is more than a body on the street, picket sign in hand, or a megaphone. I've heard it is also the ones that cook and feed the centipede we become as we march forward as one body. No matter what, we humans will always hunger for more than justice. It is the parents and caretakers, the babysitters and aunties, those who stay at home to protect the progeny we will one day raise to continue the work that we cannot do in this lifetime without all of the unlearning that we had to do first. It is the teacher who has never needed a textbook to tell us our history. It is those who continue to teach truths that, despite the spinelessness of the tattered books in their classrooms, and the historians who whitewashed them. It is the ones who pray and plead to spirit, who petition other worlds on our behalf to break chains that we cannot see, but has held us down generationally. It is the root workers and the conjurers, the witches and the witch doctors, whose mere hands have brought forth a magic that we have yet to reckon with within ourselves. It is the preachers who have turned the pulpit to a soapbox, the ones who remember that God once flooded the entire earth, and that the fire promised for next time has been searing some of our skin for centuries, those who remember that Jesus was a table-flipping radical, which is why he needed to be resurrected in the first place. All I know is for us, our salvation will be in our smiles. Our resistance will be in our rest. Black joy will be the riot, will be the revolution, will be the new world we think we can't imagine until we live it. Black joy will be the revolution when every inhale is considered theft, when every exhale is only allowed when it's used to thank you for the last one and a prayer for the next one. It is the poet that remembers their calling, that remembers that every speaking is a spell, each stanza a small spear, a shovel, a sword, a sheath, every bar a brick or bridge if used correctly. As for me, I relinquish the sting of the bee. I will speak like I have swallowed the hive. All right, this next one. This next one will probably have to have another entire page or stanza or whatever written to it. It's also unfinished. And I'm sure many of you know that today is yet another day of injustice here in the United States. And I started to write this poem after Oluwatoyin was killed, and then I continued to write it after Brayla Stone was killed. And I think I'm being called to write about Breonna Taylor, who I've not actually had the space to write about this whole time, but I'll do this poem and yeah, we'll go from there. So this is for Black women. I'll never forgive us for allowing those who survive long hurt in their short lives to be taken from us first and spoken about last. To allow them to be put down while living and be put down as a form of death. To allow their bodies to sink back into a living earth as we neglect to revive their beings by at least allowing our tongues to turn to tombstones and offer our mouths to hold their history in a way that our hands fail to do. Toyin, you are so young with experiences so ancient they can only sadly be called human. But I am tired of calling them human. To call them human is to accept a humanity that took yours away long before it killed you, then still killed you. Toyin, you said he tried to steal your jewel, but that he could not, because you were a rock, a mountain and a monument of survival. Toyin, they gave you the name Oluwa Toyin, meaning God is worthy to be praised. Yet somehow, we of traditions that give names to match the lives we hope for, fail to recognize the divine we were blessed with upon your birth. We chose only to see you as Christ-like after we had already forsaken you, after the slaughter and after your resurrection online. Toyin, my name is Mwende. It means the loved one. When I die, I hope I will never have to ask in my haunting why they wouldn't treat me like my name in life or call it out in my death. Question, how many Black girls received the first public praise only after their death? Question, of the few men who did call her name after her death, how many would have called her out of it in life as she walked past them on the street with her proud stride and aching heart? Question, do you think she could have told the difference between them and the ones who eventually took her? The wolf in shepherd's robes, a demon who disguised himself as a man of God, then killed a girl named God is worthy of being praised and confessed to the sacrilege as simple as a Sunday prayer. See, when we say protect Black girls, we mean from strangers, from their families, from yourselves. We mean Toyin had already lived through many deaths before she left her body and still managed to resurrect herself with her worth, with or without your praise. When we say protect Black girls, we mean those on the front lines. When we say protect Black girls, we mean while their lives are on the line. We mean their lives are the front lines. We mean if every cop, sheriff, and ICE agent retired tomorrow, we would still wake up to news of a dead Black girl and nobody would care. We would still refuse her the offering of our tongues as fresh tunes. Say it with me, Oluwa Toyin, God is worthy to be praised. Oluwa Toyin, God is worthy to be praised. Oluwa Toyin, God is worthy to be praised too. When we say protect Black girls and Black girl magic, but forget to include the girls. I know the magic that you speak of is incomplete. Mere parlor tricks you try to impose on our personhood. Fool's gold that is already fading. When you say Black girl magic, make sure you don't mean how some of us are put into boxes and sawed into pieces. Girls who are disappeared behind clouds of gun smoke. Rayla was a 17-year-old child, but in the lifespan of a Black trans girl, she was already middle-aged. Can you imagine a midlife crisis before you could vote? An adulthood you don't get to see in life, but was forced upon you in death. The headlines read, another Black trans woman killed, but Brayla, 2 weeks ago we buried your big sister Toyin and we all knew she was a baby even though she was 19. See, all I really want to know is when I will be able to stop writing these poems, is how come the world we knew ended and still left all of its violence behind, left it bound up in the bones of my daughters who when I am brave enough to mourn them only hear the echo of my own bitter throat as I repeat my question over and over again. When will all of my daughters be mourned? When will all of my daughters be mourned? Well, will all of my daughters be mourned? And here I go again, asking the wrong questions all the damn time. I mean, when will I be able to stop hoping for my daughters to be mourned instead of saving my hope for their lives? Instead, I want to know they will survive this war on the living, armored in nothing but their midnight skin and their moonlight bright smiles and the love that I choose to encase them in. And that's where the poem stops. This next piece is called A New Alphabet for Freedom, and it's based off of a piece it's based off of a new book that just came out called Wicked Flesh. Actually, I'll give you the full title of the book because it's a really good book. It's called Wicked Flesh, Black Women, Intimacy, and Freedom in the Atlantic World. And it's by a Black woman scholar named Jessica Marie Johnson. And she really looks at how Black women who were enslaved and brought to America renegotiated freedom, even under enslavement. And she had her book release yesterday here in New Orleans and asked me to read. So I wrote this poem after reading her book, and I will offer it to you all. And then do another poem, I guess. So, A New Alphabet for Freedom. Freedom is audacious and audible, adorned and archipelagic, a constellation even if you follow only a North Star. It is a practice of refusal, autonomy continuously articulated and affirmed. It is a null value that we fill with ourselves that is beyond violence, beyond healing from violence, beyond legal status, free status, all status and stratification. It is beyond permission, it is belief. It is birthright and death wish. It is birthing and granting yourself the wish of rebirth through death. It is beyond the laws of men and the skin that encases them. It is belonging, a pact between our bones and blood to only belong to those we choose and always first to choose ourselves. Freedom is contingent and contradictory, changes over time and space, gender, body, and race. It is confounding and multiplicitous, contested yet conspicuous. Freedom claims you only as fiercely as you dare to claim it. It is carnal and caring, a colorful rainbow of experience, but mostly it is black and maroon. It defies definition and yet tasks us to try time and time again. It is defiant and directive, defined only by redefinition. It exceeds manumission and control. It is both embodied and exists beyond the flesh. It is erotic and ephemeral, excessive yet always just enough, fugitive and fictive, fluid and fractal. It is a fractured future of possibility, but a future nonetheless. Freedom is, freedom is, freedom is. It is freer than the meaning of free that man and even women defined. It is glorious and gorgeous, God-given, and aren't we all held hostage by our own holy freedom? Holds its boundaries firm and crosses borders like crosswalks. It is intimately scaled and inelegant, indulging in the full span of humanity. It is illicit and inescapable, inevitable because it is internal. Freedom ain't no joke, and neither is saying that you want it. Don't forget that freedom has killed, freedom kills, freedom will kill. Freedom is a kaleidoscope of death, longing, and recalibration of being. It is mobility on your own terms, more than escaping unfreedom. It is mutable, it is me, it is mine, it is not mine, it is ours. There's a one-way route to us. It is plural, past the promise of empire. It is a practice and a process, playful and pleasurably logical, precarious when divorced from possibility. It is a practice and practical. It is remade, remixed, and remembered, regenerated through generations, reproduced through reproduction. It is rarely diplomatic and never bureaucratic. It is shape-shifting and shows little concern for death. It is sweetly and satisfyingly wicked. It is self-possessed, transgressive and transcendence. It is tense and tender. It is a sovereign logic of self that is unruly and ungovernable, uneasy and uneven, unbearable if unpracticed. Freedom is. It is an uneasy negotiation between sanity and imagination, where you're unsure which one you want to win. It is violent and volatile, but always worthy of defending and dying for, knowing that any lesser life is always a kind of death. We do not need to define freedom with our words, but with our ways of being. It is the we, it is the Z, it is the you, it is the zenith of this failed project of inhumanity. It is worthy of all of our zealous pursuits, whether or not we ever reach it, because then in the process, we become it. Freedom knows my name. Freedom knows your name. I know this because freedom named us and continues to call us, even if we don't want to answer. It knows our names. It knows our names. It knows our names, and will continue to beckon us home. Let's see what we have left. All right, I'll read y'all a couple of haikus that were written during Black August. And for those of you who don't know, Black August happens during, it's like regular August, which just could be known as White August because everything, this country is just so unnecessarily white. But Black August is a freedom practice that was started in 1971 to commemorate the assassination of George Jackson and some other freedom fighters who were in what they refer to as the California concentration camps, otherwise known as prisons. And they had attempted an escape. And George Jackson's story is quite interesting because he was actually arrested and received a sentence of 1 year to life, which meant that every year he was eligible for parole, but they actually kept him continuously incarcerated because he refused to stop organizing behind bars. And so in 2007, there was someone named Mama Nia who works out of Spirit House in North Carolina who had a conversation with a friend, and they were talking about another friend who was a political prisoner and how they make it through the day basically by finding joy in the small spaces. And so they began a daily writing practice of writing haikus during Black August as a way to find freedom and liberation in the small spaces of life and in writing. So I'll share with y'all a couple of haikus that I wrote, and then I should probably be near my time. And if not, I'll finish with one more piece. So the title is Auntie Audrey Reminds Me. Speaking of Audre Lorde. You don't have to know in order to understand, you have to listen. The title is For June from July. June being June Jordan, July being myself. That's my birth month. I've been wrong and still wrong ain't never been my name. Pronounce me correct, pronounce me holy. Won't answer to all I'm called, act accordingly. Train your timid tongues, sound out all my syllables. I've been a mouthful, too much to swallow, hard to digest or stomach. I am all I be. This next one is called Zora Told Us, and it's written in the spirit of Zora Neale Hurston after the announcement of Kamala Harris as VP. Zora told us, been told about skin folk, can't root for everyone Black if they don't wound back. Assuming comrades only urges undoing, kinfolk is a verb. This next one is called, Would You Recognize Magic If You Saw It, If You Were It? Magic surrounds us. There is no ordinary, there's just familiar. This next one is called Reminders for My Impatient Self. Don't force what won't come. What is for you is either coming or waiting. First time a whisper, next time a screeching siren, last time a lesson. This next one is Untitled. Study the tides of the ocean shored by your skin, each ripple, each wave. Not all water is meant to quench others' dry throats or be waded through. Not everything left behind in your water will be offering. And then this last one from the haiku series. Oh, this will not be the last one, hold on. Also untitled though. Ask for what you need, ready yourself to receive as well as release. Ask for what you want, ready yourself to receive as well as release. And then this last one I'll leave y'all on with the haiku series. It's titled, A Snack, Baby, I'm a Whole Restaurant. Indulging in self, a buffet of becoming, come taste my trying. And where's my host at? How am I doing on time? I really was not keeping track.
LOL, you got time for one more poem.
Okay, cool, great, cool. I will end on this poem then. Yeah, thank y'all so much for this space, and I hope that the slam and everything goes really great after. I think they might have put my website in the chat, and if not, I'll just put it in there. And yeah, you can join my newsletter, stay in touch from there. And also all of my social media, whatever's things is there if you want to follow me in that kind of way. And so I'll leave y'all with this piece. Quarantine is just, it's been a lot. And then there's also some times where I'm like, you a bad bitch. In the midst of the world ending, you still a bad motherfucker. So this next poem was written in that vein when I was feeling one of those moments. And it's written after, one of my favorite poets is Lucille Clifton, because I'm not a short poet, like I am a long-winded poet. And she sometimes just can so concisely just like cut to the meat of things. And so I was meditating one day and I was drawn to this piece of hers, and then I wrote my own version. So Why Some People Be Mad at Me Sometimes by Lucille Clifton. They ask me to remember, but they want me to remember their memories, and I keep on remembering mine. Why Some People Be Mad at Me Sometimes by FreeQuency. Because I'm fly, because I'm free, because I love like I expect you to love me back as fiercely, because I don't argue if I don't care, because I don't bullshit well, because I don't take bullshit well, because I dare to speak even if I'm unsure of the words, because I got receipts, because I'm the damn cashier, because I've been a window shopper with a brick in my bag, because I never ask for what I need, because I always get it despite myself, because I've always said cuz and ask, and that's exactly what I meant, because I never asked for your opinion, because I can't pretend to care if you offer it, because I know that no is not a word, it's a sentence, because I never stopped screaming back as their throats went hoarse, because I never cowered as their fingers formed fits, because I won't be the woman that they want me to be, because I use whatever bathroom feels right, even if it doesn't feel safe, because I pretend not to hear you by pointing to my earbuds when you can clearly see that my headphones aren't even plugged in. Because I win, because I win, because I lose, because I lose, and that doesn't stop me from winning, because I've released myself from the paralysis of perfection, because I've learned to answer only to my name, because I've been wrong, but I know that it is not my name, because I'm not the same person on and off the stage, because I'm not the same lover as I am a performer, because I love myself enough to know the difference, because I keep trying, because I love better than I fight, because I'm a damn good fighter, because I'm grateful and full of greatness, because I've always been myself, because I'm pretty enough to take your boyfriend, because I'm handsome enough to be your boyfriend, because I'm free, because I'm free, because I'm free, because I'm so free I make other people see their chains, because I know we have nothing to lose but our chains, but our shame, but our smallness, but our fear. See, sometimes I be mad at my own fool self, because I forget I do not write these poems. I forget I am these poems. I forget I am this poem, even if I can't seem to remember the words. Oh, thank y'all. Have a good night.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
That's how you.
Damn.
I'm stuck between like saying that's how you end a feature and that's how you start off a night. And I almost said that's how you end a night because like, why do? Because why not? I mean, I don't even know how to host after that. Let me, I'm just gonna pick my edges up off the flow. I'm glad they didn't go too far because I just laid them down. But oh my goodness, thank you so much for that amazing feature. We are going to put their website in the chat so you can look them up, get on that newsletter, keep up. Thank you so much, FreeQuency, for that beautiful feature. Can we take a breath together real quick? Just collect ourselves. Just real quick, just. Okay. So much. Yes. Lit. So I am going to post the order in the chat. But we have an amazing list of poets tonight. Coming up in this slam, we got Chardonnay, oh, this is the wrong list. Hold on. This is not the updated list. What's this? This is not the version of the list that I was supposed to have.
That is. If Chardonnay is the first poet, it is the first. It is the right list.
Okay. Oh, Sova is not here unless they. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I was thrown off. But we're back. We're back now. We are back and unthrown and on. Okay, so the order will be Chardonnay, Mai, Torian, Aquila, and Dog Days Are Over. Lit. I'm going to post that in the chat. But before we begin, we need our sacrificial poet, you know? These are new judges, gotta get these virginal judges. I'm not even gonna go there. We need to just break in these judges, let them know, get them ready to enjoy poetry. Get them ready to enjoy poetry. So I need everybody to say, spill the blood. I'm gonna pretend everybody says.
Blood.
Thank you. I wasn't gonna like pretend that everybody says spill the blood. Yes, spill the blood for your sacrificial poet, Tino.
Tino. Tino, the Leo. Good evening, everyone. America frames the age-old question. If it's so bad here, why don't you go back to where you came from? So it's done with my nagging, my abuse of free speech, America, all menacing teeth, flaming white skin, blue eyes set to murder, says I don't look like him. Therefore, this country wasn't meant for me. Says I must have forgotten who's in charge. I look at the migrant families who can pick and pull apart. Don't look at yours when we took your parents back when you were 21, 15, 13, 10, 8, 5. Your saving grace being citizenship, and still America asks me to get out, but to leave my belongings behind. But my labor is no longer necessary. That if it ain't freedom, it's prison. And prison means slave labor, means good old America making itself great again at the expense of people of color. Speaks of racism as tradition. And really, might expect different from a country that holds genocide and slavery as unnamed heirlooms to pass down. And there I go again, banging up the race card for the sake of shock value. Says if I'm going to stay to get with the program or get lost, the white supremacy gives them the moral high ground that things ain't changing. No way, no how. America ain't so much as asking, it's all demanding. Yet I do not know where I find the energy to tell him that he forgets himself, that I am as American as they come, forgets I was born here, forgot how we got here in the first place, how America apprehended this land, and never once called it a heist. America longs to be an amnesiac, but he says I refuse to let him. America asks me, why won't I let sleeping dogs lie? Erects a monument of a white man who lost a war, says he can still claim victory like this, and white America defends it as necessary. Says talking about slavery is outdated. Says private prisons ain't slavery. Says a country with open borders ain't a country. Says we tried things that way, that they're done cleaning up after us. America the hypocrite. 14, the purveyor of call and culture. Ask America why he's so confident he can get rid of us. Tell him he's gonna have to try harder than his intimidation tactics, that if he wants to get through my comrades, it's gonna be over my dead body. Tell him I got more than enough labor to spare. This capitalism at least train me for something useful, buck, and all the neo-Nazis you kept hidden in your wings. Tell him I won't be done till I dismantle your detention centers, abolish your prisons, persecute you for all your crimes on stolen land. America begs me to stay quiet, and tell him it's so bad here because he let it get that way in the first place. Remind him he was the one holding the whip and the gun, and since the inception, and here we've been fixing the pieces he've been fucked up, and he should have been paid reparations. That he's only alive because he coerced labor from all these bodies. Tell him to stop stirring up racial tensions. Have America being stop being so damn America. And when he's done asking me why I'm still here, I reject his choice of words, look him in the eyes. Know that if I don't have the right to space, that neither does he, especially not him, that it's all over. The only people left standing with my comrades and I, that we ain't going nowhere, no way, no how. Tell America he's done wasting my time with his nagging, that I got somewhere to be, that I got work to do.
All right, give a round of applause for your sacrificial poet, Tino. All right, judges, you know what to do. Send your little scory scores to Prophet. All right, that was our sacrificial poet. We're all
Reggie, do you have an announcement to make? Because we're restarting the Instagram stream real quick.
Oh, we're restarting the Instagram stream? Okay, yeah, I have an announcement to make. Lit. So, shit. Do I have an announcement to make?
Tell us about Patreon.
Patreon, yeah. I shouted out our Patreon earlier. But for those of you who are just joining the stream, again, I would like to shout out all of our patrons. Without you, it would not be possible to continue to provide free events, free workshops, free art, and access to artist communities online for the last 6 months. Like really, like the work that we have been doing has been because of y'all. It's really, yeah, it just really warms my heart to know that there's a bunch of people out there that are willing to support us monthly. If you would like to donate monthly and ensure that we have a budget to be able to plan and grow and continue providing 7 workshops and 7 events a month, you should hit up patreon.com/richoakevents to donate. But Reggie, what if I can't donate money monthly, but I do have a little bit of money I can donate now? I'm glad you asked, because we also accept one-time donations. You can always hit us up through Venmo at Berkeley Slam, as well as through PayPal, paypal.me/Berkeley Slam. All of your donations go right back into the show, making sure that we can pay our features, pay our winners, pay our workshop facilitators, and pay for all of the wonderful technology that allows us to live stream, edit, and really present y'all with the best poetry that the Bay Area and now our global Rich Oak community has to offer. So yeah, is our live stream up on Instagram?
Yep, it's back up.
Hey, what's up, Instagram part 2? Y'all made it just in time for our slam. So like I said earlier, the performers will be competing in this order. We have Chardonnay, and then we have Mai, and then we have Torian, then we have Akila Thomas, and then we have Hector Castaneda. Lit. Lit. So, that being said, on deck, meaning you're not coming up now, but you will be coming up next, so get ready. On deck, we have Mai, but give maximum love to the first poet of the slam. Give it up for Chardonnay.
Woo!
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm tired of faking humble when I've turned shit into gold. Story goes, a suicidal femme attempts to take their own life and instead found a way out of the void. Their shadow came alive, all flameless smoke and bones. Past pains thrive on fear, but I face myself and me living is the proof. Picture this, a tall black body breaking glass on concrete at 10 p.m. in a predominantly white neighborhood. Screams stabbing their own arm, forever scarred with the curve of a smile. Police arrived, they called on themselves and survived. It was my birthday and the EMTs who saved me. I found relief when I was asleep. The bitch who wanted to die stayed dead. And on my way home, I told my brother I wasn't staying in the desert. My soul was cracking, so I summoned a wave that carried me to the bay. My blood washed away my pain. The concrete is still stained with my blood, so it'll always be true. I killed myself to achieve my dreams, and who but God can perform their own autopsy, dissect themselves, cut out the disease that killed them, and be reborn on the third day. Since June 4th, my life ain't been the same. So when I call myself God, it's because my blood is why I dropped the glass instead of carving a bigger smile. Only God knew that if I moved the blade crabwise, I would have hit a vein. My skin is stained forever, laughing at my suicide attempt. My depression didn't die. I killed her so I could stay alive. Thank you.
All right, give a round of applause to Chardonnay. All right, judges, send your scores to Profit now. If you haven't already, you know, if I'm telling you to send your scores in, it's probably too late. But yeah, and for reference, our sacrifice, Tino, got a 21.3. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. It is all about the poetry and not the points. Lit. So on deck, we have Torian, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on the stage. Give it up for Mai.
Hi, can you guys hear me all right?
Yee.
Okay. 1, always be careful with band-aids. If you get the sticky part on an open wound, it will make you bleed more when you pull it off. 2, you can never unstain sheets. or a body. Scars still mark where I tried to remove you from me. 3. The way blood tends to pour reminds me of an IV drip sometimes. Like that central line snaking its way around my throat tightens every time I think about it. Like the way scars only seem to get deeper each time you scowl at them. Like this really won't ever go away, like this really won't ever heal, like maybe I won't really ever heal. 4. I'm sad. Sad like got my heart broken by a heartbreaker and called it a shock. No, sad like I can't take the trash out. Can't take a shower. No, sad like my room is a composure of my clothes 4 days worn and tossed on the desk. Sad like can't get out of bed anymore, like who made this shit so comfy? No, sad like the sight of a scab makes me think of blood, and then I get nervous like, will this scab scar? Like, will this scab even become a scar to ever fade? Like, will this scar that is not yet on my body ever heal? Like, will I ever really heal? I'm still trying to implicit memory my way into suicide. I have swallowed these bottles too many times to not know the taste of orange-tinted plastic by heart. 5. Blood taught me that things never are the way they seem. Like your lust looks a little too much like crabwise love, and it's almost like it's real. Your love looks a little too much like toxic, and your toxic looks a little too much like I love you. Things are never the way they seem. Like this was supposed to be a poem about blood, and I mentioned it twice. And this poem was supposed to be a list of 10 things, and this is 10 times I've written this poem, then cried. Blood taught me silence. Blood taught me silence is violence. Still learn to keep quiet, so I make a massacre of this body each day. Taught me that quietly is deathly, and isn't that the truth? It's a miracle this body hasn't passed. But still, I pray to the God I don't believe in, for a mockery of forgiveness for these hands and all they have done to me. And isn't that holy? Waiting for my own body to pass. Let a headstone be the first time my name is written in dignity. Thank you.
All right, give it up for my. Yes. All right, judges. Y'all are cool. Y'all are efficient. Y'all know what to do. Send them scores to Lay Prophet. And for reference, Chardonnay got a 26.0. Again, I'm gonna say this all night. I'm gonna say this till the end of the time. Fuck the scores. It is all about the poetry. The scores are just to convince a whole bunch of random motherfuckers on the internet to come watch a live stream with poetry in it. That's all the scores are for. Hell yeah, the poetry is more important than the points. Speaking of poetry, poetry is writing. Writing is great. Writing is fun, but writing can also be difficult if you don't have a space or a direction to write in. And that is where we can come in, because every Wednesday before our show at 7:15, we have a writing workshop. You can check out our Instagram and Facebook page, Berkeley Slam, for more information on Zoom links and how you can get into our writing workshops. Every week we have either our feature or one of our organizers run an amazing writing workshop where they guide you through a prompt, facilitate writing, and a short moment to share. It's a great way to get feedback. It's a great way to be in community. And sometimes we just need a designated time to sit down and write and someone to point us in a general direction. So if you are an aspiring writer of any level, definitely come out to one of our workshops. We would love to see you there. Lit. So on deck, let me not even pretend like I know. Let me look at this list. On deck, we got Aquila, but give maximum love to our next poet coming up on this slam. Give it up for Torian.
All right, y'all can hear me?
Yee.
All right. The function of white blood cells is to get rid of diseases and foreign invaders to the body. White. Get rid of foreign invaders to the body. Foreign invaders. Red blood cells transport oxygen through the body. Red, as in color, transport oxygen through the body. Is it safe to say if one is bleeding, they aren't breathing? Like the pavement looks at the black body like a blood donor, like a cop's gun got bloodshot eyes, like, what is my blood type? Answer, my skin B positive when cops B negative. Answer, I B father left. Answer, I B positive, cops bullet left the chamber. Answer, my blood tell me A, B positive, even when cops be oh so negative. Blood can change your speech, can make you go from love to drugs. Like, I look at my family and say, I need those. I look at love and trust and say, I need those. I look at the family who love cutting my trust and say, I need those. So many needles that you have no choice but to love me in vain. Black bodies look so casket sharp. You gotta ask, whose funeral home is our death cutting today? The casket gotta ask, which came first, the bullet or the blood? Like a cop's gun will believe in love at first sight. Don't you see the sparks flying? I look at my younger brothers and sisters, my blood living in the hood every day, and I want to move my blood to a better place. I call that blood transfusion. Like I told my white friend, I'm trying to white this poem. He said, you mean right? I said, no, white. If I add too much blood, they'll think this poem is gang banging. You know, so much of my blood is locked in prison. I call that blood cells. We yell, go in, poet, and the poet go in like needles. So when we pull back, you get this blood work. You watch this blood work. You get these bloodlines. Talk about my bloodline like my blood tell me to open up, and I do no matter the risk. I do no matter my risk. It's funny when our blood get lowered that cops keep raising the iron like death is anemic. The irony. That's when I learned America will make you bleed for people that isn't blood. That black from bodies on pavements are like text messages from your ex left on red. That this poem is open heart surgery with a bunch of blood clot twists. You'll ask what type of art is this, and I'll tell you, it's an artery.
All right, give it up for Torian.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Judges, you know what to do. I ain't got to tell you again because y'all been pretty good, pretty damn good about getting them scores in. I appreciate you, judges. And who shit? And my got a 21.5. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet and the poetry, not the points. Lit. All right. On deck. Ooh, my phone froze. On deck, we have Hector, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up in the slam. Give it up for Akila.
Hey everybody, my name is Akila Tony, and today I will be reading you a poem called Insecure Words. Y'all can hear me, by the way? We good? Thumbs up, head nods.
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. Insecure words. Your prestige dialect needs more seasoning. Me adding my own twist does not subtract my sentence reasoning. Twining my black vernacular like my aunt's hips at a family get-together. Gentrifying my speech. Raising up the prices for you ain't, and moving in you are not. My dictation moves crab wisely, sticking to the roof of my mouth. Flat ironing my tongue to suit them. Combing out my curly vernacular, massage and relaxing through my talk. I kept the burning cream on my gums a little longer so you could understand me. I let my accent escape my mouth. I rhythmize my tongue with the beat of drums and the stumps of my brown feet. Replace himself with himself. I put the B after I say he or she. Examples like, my people be inventing words for survival, or me and my niggas be rapping, then write 10-page essays the next day, or how about I be pimping words and making English my bitch. I move and hypnotize you with words not in your vocabulary. Make my speeches gyrate like they dancing in a Big Frida. Pronunciate my vowels, let them syncopate with the chatter of my teeth. I pulls ears to my mouth, wrangling them with the wildness of my tongue. And the next time you try to correct me with red lines under my words, or try to embarrass me in my dialect, best believe I'ma say some shit you ain't never heard.
Hey, give it up for Akila.
Damn.
All right, judges, baby, you know what to do. I know you got it. Hey. Lit. And Torian got a 26.8 again. Fuck the scores. It is about the poetry and the artistry, and the writing. Like, tonight's been a good night. Like, not a bad poem, not a single bad poem. And on deck, we got the second round. But give maximum love to your last poet of the first round. Give it up for Hector.
Hector.
Oh, whiteness, how you invert me into tri-split salt pillars, then demand I dissolve back into your oceanic limbs. Oh, white nest, how inadvertent of you to unintentionally rebirth me as I am unmade with drowning upon drowning. Every screamless bubble from my throat becomes an infinite hive of unresolved cadences, becomes broken body elegies, submerged potentiality, and so I trick myself to re-become anything body-like, reinvert my sodium into calcium to attempt alchemizing me into bone, but still too ivory to be crowned margin ally skeleton in your pale pupils. Oh, why am I next in line to crown you margin ally skeleton in your kind's pale pupils? Oh, whiteness, why are you so obsessed with race? I'm not the fucking one drowning enough brown spines to messiah us to an American oasis, then call out wetback, not the one naming brown after my brow stale sweat and misnaming us colonized colonizer like Spanish person in custody, SPIC, when every police jail cell threshold mouth screams louder than undocumented children cry, quieted under America's right wing. The left wing tokenizes me so gilded, I become treasure box full of medallions holding a brown bomb in my throat. It's white wick, cock-loaded to scream, spick, SPIC, the wicks, every twined hair always prepared to ignite itself and combust me into shrapnel. Right wing, left wing, same fucking crab-wise bald eagle with a meadow of brown scalp, graveyards under every golden feather. Oh, white Loch Ness. In response, I scream, subjugated person, imploding cathedrals, SPIC, all the mess, manifest destiny, groaning Armageddons when I stone, all the stained glass for stoning, my stained glass heart queers to, oh, unhighness. In response, I scream, my maize-blooded people, thorn crown, do their unmessiah, and so you cruciform their bodies aflame, and so I Wild flare, inferno, every un-Bible to uncathedral, the sour bread of Christ to un-KK, all the staled wine spilled from melanated blood, un-KKK, I scream out what you did, kill, 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 in response I scream, just scream for all those with honeywood skin who could not, who still cannot, oh whiteness, divineless God, amen. Thank you.
All right. Give it up for Hector. All right, judges, send in your little scores. And Akila got a 25.0. Once again, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna say it all night. Fuck the points. I didn't come here for no goddamn points. I came here for poetry, and that is what I have received tonight. Good as poetry. So send your scores in. We're going to, I'm just like stalling until we get that last score. Yeah, I guess I could talk about, y'all, I guess I could give a shout out to a project we've been working on at Rich Oak that is about to take off. I'm really excited about this. Some of y'all might have seen, some of y'all might know, but during the month of June, especially, we were doing live stream conversations between myself and one of the other founders of Rich Oak Events, Colin, on different issues within the poetry community, artist community, Black community, all that thing. We called it the Founders Speak series. We have now decided to turn that into a whole ass podcast that will be dropping 3 audio episodes on SoundCloud a month, as well as 1 live stream at the end of every month, where we have a live conversation in front of the entire world. But yes, you should definitely check out all of our social media pages, Rich Oak, Alchemy, Oakland Slam, Berkeley Slam. For more information, we will be putting out more information and dropping our SoundCloud link to the first episode on October 1st. So that's right around the motherfucking corner. So yes, lit. And we got that score. Hector got a 21.0. Once again, I rebuke these scores in the name of Black Jesus. Because I am here for the poetry and not the points. Lit. So we're gonna move into our second round. Congratulations to all of our competitors. Everybody, yes, everybody who competed tonight made it into our second round. Congratulations. So the second round is going to go in reverse order of appearance. So it will go Hector, then Akila, then Torian, then Mai, then Chardonnay, ending off the night. But before, we continue, it's been like a little bit. We had, some poets, I stalled for a couple minutes. I think we need to rewarm these judges up, give them another calibration, like, it's like the car stalled and now we gotta put some jumper cables on that mug. So everybody say shock the battery. Shock the battery. I want to hear someone say
shock the battery.
Shock that battery.
And give it up for your AAA roadside assistant poet, Colin.
Woo! What's up, Jamon Hill?
All right, can you hear me?
No.
You cannot hear me.
Yeah, yes, we can hear you.
Oh wow, fake as hell. Like I'm the sacrifice. Mama says, what you know about this boy? It means that she plays the same damn songs at every barbecue, every birthday, every wedding, funeral, road trip. Mama, I think I know a lot about this. My mother's playlist is a holy grail of R&B and gospel music. A treasure trove of Bill Withers and Kirk Franklin. She turns up the volume and turns back time, glides across the kitchen floor on beat to music as old as my grandmother, her memory still alive, if only for the next 3 minutes. And that's all my mother needs to perform a dance hall seance, a living room resurrection. My mother asks, what you know about this? It means, what do you know about my mother? She is asking if I can remember Granny outside of her death. She is telling me that everything she knows of my grandmother, she remembers through music. Grief is just another sad song. Each melody is a eulogy for a face we have forgotten. When my mother asks, what you know about this? She is only asking not to be forgotten. She is asking to be held in every note of my favorite song. Thank you.
Give it up for your sacrificial poet. Colin, I see he like still spotlighted, and I know we look kind of similar because we like low-key twins, but like LOL. There I am. Hi. Yeah, judges, send your little scory scores to Prophet. Lit. That was our sacrifice, you know. Well, not our sacrifice, our AAA roadside assistant poet. Ooh, please don't let this live stream get taken down. I'm not here to steal the AAA name. I am just here to crack jokes. But yes, we have judges. You have now been jump started. You have enough juice to make it home, but you should probably get your battery checked once you get there. But it should be enough to make it through the night. So on deck we have Aquila, but give maximum love to our first poet in the second round. Give it up for the encore performance of Hector.
Internalized homophobia as 5 stages of grief, a fractured erasure after Zach Goldberg. 1. Denial. I earthquake the radiance of my queer, deny its sun rays. I'd rather unbecome into a straight line, hide my spectrum from the cathedral of my uncle's homophobia. I push an erect bell tower against my spine when my masculinity slouches. A man's erection is just a monolith unable to replace my Eucharist too. Anger. I loathe my queer, its radiant moonlight. I cut my tongue into a heterosexual sunrise. I scream at God when his halos don't suffocate the queer out my throat. I pray violently for the last supper of my queer. I shove a bell tower into my spine each time I lust for Adam and Eve. 3. Bargaining. I exchange my body with my straight star below the horizon. Body avoids dying. Supernovas of body reject, grieving themselves into shattered, stained glass. Less hetero joy than homophobia can gaslight. Bare-chested locker room boy becomes forbidden fruit, a haunting bane of my reflection. My stardust implodes into itself, limbs of broken mirrors with less galaxy than sacred. I become prayer. I survive by crucifying my body to please an unwritten Bible. God's dick dissolves in my hand. I am a corpse buried under my ego, so I skin a preacher's tongue till God unwrites my name with less red ink than black holes. I'm gravitied with grief, more wrecked lantern than drunken prismatic sun rays. I'll phoenix myself for fucking ever if I have to soak in the sun for depression. My star below the horizon is dying. Supernovas grieving into shattered, stained glass, less hetero joy than homophobia, bare-chested locker room boy, becoming haunting of my reflection. My stardust implodes in broken mirrors, less galaxy than sacred. I survive by crucifying my body to please God. I'm living as a corpse, buried under my skin. A preacher's tongue writes my name, less red ink than black hole. Grief, more wrecked than drunk prismatic sun rays. I'll phoenix myself for fucking ever if I have to. 5, acceptance. My star, supernovas into stained glassless phobia of my reflection in broken mirrors. Less crucifying my body to please God's corpse buried under a preacher's tongue. Less black hole grief, more prismatic sun. I phoenix myself for fucking ever. Thank you.
Woo!
Woo!
Whoa!
Yes! Oh my God!
Don't fuck it up,
All right, judges, you know what to do. I know you know what to do because you've been doing it all night. Very good. Shout out to the judges for like, I ain't had not one complaint about the job the judges are doing, other than, you know, the scores, but you'll always get complaints about the scores because the scores suck. All scores suck. All scores suck. All scores suck. But our AT&T, or not AT&T, oh God, AAA roadside assistant jumpstart poet got a 27.9. But once again, fuck the scores. Like, fuck the scores. The scores don't fucking matter. It's about the poetry and the artistry that is being brought to this stage. All right. On deck, we have Torian, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on the mic. Give it up for Akila.
Hey guys. So I dedicate this poem to all my Black people who have the bravery and courage to survive in PWI spaces and white institutions. Shout out to you, and shout out to my sister for doing that too. Overbearing blackness. Overbearing blackness by my Black body. Overbearing blackness by my Black body. Overbearing blackness by my Black body. Mine. Because I evoke my existence, my experience. Because I refuse to be swallowed and consumed in a room swelled with whiteness and entitlement oozing out of the cracks of classroom walls. When white people in textbooks and novels stare at me and wickedly cackle because they know their legacy lives ever on, lynching my brain over and over, spinning up ancestral trauma like it's in a cotton gin, and the word slave and nigga prick my fingers as I turn each page wondering, where am I? And so they asked me, why do you always talk about race? And she told me, people of color bring up race where it's not necessary. My advocacy and my acknowledgement plumb stick red blood to my identity when my survival in your world depends solely on my loudness. So when you tell me my race is not necessary, you are telling me, shut up, Black girl. No one wants to hear it. Overbearing blackness by my Black body. Overbearing blackness by my Black body. Overbearing blackness by my Black body. Cause I ain't your mammy, your mule, your Jezebel, your Shiro, your queen, or the fantasies you assign to me in between. Cause it seems I only matter when I'm adjacent to my labor, or breaking new trends, doing you a favor, being profitable when I'm stoic yet formidable. Pull up my shirt cause I ain't your wet nurse, and I got a right to be mad. So when I walk by, you better clench your purse. Cause I'll pop your pearls, pop your bubble, pop your privilege. Pop goes the whitey that talks ill behind thee. I hope every time my tongue presses against my teeth, And I fix my brown lips to say black, to say racism, to say message noir. I hope your ears ring and burn like the seventh circle of hell. May the winds of my words blare all your caravels, because I'm tired of being muted and turned to static noise. I'm tired of being a 30-second segment in your world news. And you're probably offended by this poem too. Well, it is not my job to keep you comfortable with pats on the back and give you cookies with chunks of racial affirmations, because you're one of the good ones. And I just whine and complain, but I never get over something I was born in. And as long as I carry the last name of our forefathers, may you stay bothered. And I'ma stay overbearing, like the waters that carried me. Overbearing blackness by my black body. 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 Black body, 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 black body.
Hey, give it up for Akila. All right, judges, you know what to do. I know you know what to do because I got the scores for the last poet before the poet. I got the scores for Hector before Akila went on, so I know y'all are doing good. Hector got a 27.9 again. Fuck. You see this middle finger? Fuck. Fuck. Fuck the scores. It is about the poets and the poetry and the artistry that is being displayed tonight. Damn. We still got more poets to go. So on deck, we got mine, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up in the second round. Give it up for Torian.
Torian.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
If either of two of my sons ask me how to love a woman, I'm telling him, boy, you better love her like vampire to blood. You better love her like werewolf to full moon. Boy, you better love her like Frankenstein to electricity. But don't you dare become another monster. But hell, love her like fog around a haunted house. Search for her voice in the floorboards, and if you find your way inside her heart, please not be afraid. I promise it's not a cemetery. It's just the names of the men who stayed long enough to make her feel dead on the inside. Hold her. Tell her that scientists discovered that human skin cells, they repeat themselves every 7 years. That means, boy, in 7 years, you'll be the first real man to hold a body her ex-boyfriends never touched. Son, let her educate you. Son, kiss the chalkboard on her lips. Study her bad habits like hand down textbooks. Learn every scar, learn every bruise. Son, hold her hands like flashcards. Son, the lesson that you're going to learn is that everyone comes with baggage, but you can't be the man that's afraid to help her unpack it. Boy, you gotta rip that shit wide open. Pull the skeletons out. Pull the skeletons out your closet. Make room for a new wardrobe. Son, wear her name like a trench coat that never goes out of style. Son, wear her name out in style. You gotta sign a sunset stuck in her throat. Become a tree that takes a picture in the sunrise. This is your picture perfect moment to photosynthesize. Boy, you better love like a pitchfork in a haystack company. Like, hey, like, boy, I would have needs to be on your last fall because you scared crow to lose after all of this. He tells me that he's in love with a man. You better love him like boomerangs and winds of change. I'm talking like jam triggers on rifles that mean stuck between war and survival. Son, understand, here's that war. Closet is a barricade with a grenade doorknob, but open it anyway. Let freedom explode in your chest, because America, it only understands war if it's right in their backyards. And if he tells me that he loves men and women, okay. Love them like parallel line segments, like an airplane. Love its opposite wings, like yin yang, like ping pong, like a fucking yin yang ping pong. Son, become the net that separates both halves of the tennis table. But son, understand you are the nets. Both halves are needed to continue this game of love. Let's continue this game of love, because trust me, I'm still learning how to love myself. But once we learn, boys, we're gonna be so damn good at it.
Hey, give it up for Torian.
Hey.
Gang, 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 gang. Lit. And it looks like Akila got a 26.5. Fuck the scores. Fuck the scores. It is all about the poets, the poetry, the artistry that is being brought to this stage. And I can tell you, it has been an honor to host tonight. And on deck, we have our last poet of the night, Chardonnay. But give maximum love to our penultimate poet. Give it up for my...
Hi, can you all hear me okay again?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sick. On the seventh day, God rested. God looked down on her creations and called it good. It only took 24 hours for the world to grow dark again. I grew up as a girl. Genesis chapter 6, verse 11. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and the earth was filled with violence. My body splits itself. My heart forms an arc, and my lungs inhale a flood. Chapter 7, verse 4. For in 7 days I will send rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and every living thing that I have made I will blot out from the face of the ground. Flood begets a tsunami of hatred for all of my womanness. Takes the ark and pushes it under with a great wave. Tsunami does not control its own movements. Tsunami wonders how it got here. Chapter 7, verse 11. On that day, all the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were opened. The tsunami grows as it speaks. Don't you know what you started? Don't you want to finish what you started? Heaven's windows shatter. God speaks through broken glass. Don't you believe in second chances? God made me out of dust, and woman made dust out of herself, shaking sandpaper across the limbs, eroding skin down to sand on an ocean floor, taking steps back. My hands beget the ocean floor. Chapter 8, verse 1. And God made a wind blow over the earth, and the waters subsided. God makes me take a deep breath for once. The tsunami calms and speaks. Don't you know you control your own body? If Noah is my womanhood, how long have I been trying to drown her? Ark collapses. Only learn to survive over thrashing waters. Noah is safe but will never come back to this body. God speaks to me through streaming lights. Don't you know where this started? It only takes 24 hours for the earth to grow dark again. Thank you.
Give it up for my gang, 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 bra, bra, bra. All right, and it looks like, let me look. Torian got a 24.7. Fuck the scores, sideways, upwards, upside down, just fuck it. Fuck the scores. Fuck the scores. It is all about the poets and the poetry and the art that is being brought to this stage. I know I sound like a broken record, but I can't repeat that enough. We don't run this show for the points. We run it for the poetry and the artistry and the community. Lit. I just got some news that sickens me, but I'll announce it later. So on deck, we have figuring out who has won all of this money, but give maximum love for our last poets of the night. Give it up for Chardonnay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
So why didn't nobody ask the female daddy long leg if being called daddy translates to an erasure of her womanhood? The same reason you don't realize the caucasity of asking what my pronouns are. It's always a queer, non-binary person lacking color as much as they lack respect for boundaries. Unless we were talking about the borders built by their ancestors with the same hands they used to cut the tongues out of the mouths of mine for generations. Their blood and my mouth runs over, a drop for every refusal to abide by this demon tongue. It doesn't contain a word divine enough to define me. My ancestral memory is so blurry, I can't tell you what language those before me preferred to speak. But now that it's damn near out of reach, they caucasiously ask me what my preferences are. But I am Oshun, the manly woman, the water you must drink that will also drown you if you even think about disrespecting me. And now they're apologizing, but keep your sorries, unless it's in the form of money, because knowing better has never been cause for them to do better. So why did no one ask the female daddy long leg if being called daddy translates to an erasure of her womanhood? No one's bothered to learn her language. The word for father is also the word for mother. There is no translation. Twin flames dancing in fluidity. The Holy One. It's not uncertainty that fuels my desire to strip the pronouns from my tongue. It's the certainty that they, like you, have got me fucked up. In Yoruba culture, there are rituals to change the gender of unborn children, transforming their destiny away from misery, or abiku, translation born to die, translation dies before parents, demon tongue failing me again. So I asked the female daddy long leg if being called daddy has any effect on her so-called womanhood. She laughed and said, these men always think what they call us changes us, but we've always been more than woman or man, transcending beyond the umbrella of trans. It's just more demon tongue. My blood spilling in my mouth when I say, stop calling me she. My pronouns are them, they. Thank you.
All right, give it up one last time for Chardonnay. Yes, gang, 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 gang. All right, and it looks like mine got a 22.0. Fuck the scores. It has never been about the scores. If it was about the scores, like, I don't know. I feel like if it was about the scores, we'd be paying more money for first place. It's about the poetry. I want to thank every single person who has touched this stage tonight. Y'all have been amazing. This is always the Berkeley Slam. Hosting, being a part of this community is always the highlight of my week, what I look forward to. So y'all are amazing, always brightening up my day, my week, my life, and the days and weeks and lives of others on the internet. Lit. So while we're trying to get these scores and figure out who won this little money, let me shout out some other events that happen in the Bay Area. We are the Berkeley Poetry Slam. We happen every Wednesday right here on your streaming platform of choice. And for reference, Chardonnay got a 25.0. But yeah, we are the Berkeley Slam. We are part of a larger collective called Rich Oak Events. Rich Oak Events is an events production organization program that produces the Berkeley Poetry Slam, as well as two other events, the Oakland Poetry Slam and the Alchemy Open Mic. The Oakland Poetry Slam happens every third Tuesday through Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Jesus fucking Christ. I was hoping this wouldn't happen, but we'll move on to that. But yeah, we happen on all of those platforms. We have a feature. We have an amazing lineup of poets. We have cash prizes for first place. And then there is our other show, the Alchemy Open Mic, every first and third Saturday through Instagram Live at Rich Oak Alchemy. It's an amazing space, an amazing like low pressure, non-competition space to come and perform and share not just your poetry, but music, art, dance, whatever little art form, whatever talent that you want to showcase. Damn. God damn. And then there's also other shows in the Bay Area, like the Santa Cruz Word Church Open Mic every Monday through Instagram. You can check out at Legendary Collective for more information. There's a whole bunch of other shows that happen in the Bay Area. I can't name them all because I am like 3 blunts into the night, so good luck with my memory. But I'm here to announce these scores, and Jesus, I know I tell the judges to stay consistent, but like y'all are too consistent because we got a tie. But in third place with a 51.0, give it up for Chardonnay. Gang, gang.
Yay. Thank y'all. I don't really have much else to say.
Hey, thank you, Chardonnay. Okay, so here's the thing. We have a tie. And anyone who knows me as a host knows I hate ties because that means we have to do one or two things. Y'all can either choose to split the first and second place prize evenly amongst yourself, or you can duke it out in a haiku death match. It's up to you. But with a 51.5, I need both Akila and Torian to decide what they want to do with that tie, little tie.
Hey, hey, Ty, buddy.
Hey, what's up? So, what do you want to do?
You want to do a haiku?
I mean, if you want to go through with the haiku depth, I think we do it.
Okay.
Are we doing a haiku death match?
Yeah.
Okay. This hasn't happened in a while. I'm actually kind of excited. Right. I love it. I love the healthy competition. I had a feeling that it was gonna be a haiku death match. I saw the way you was bouncing the kilo, like, what you want to do? I was like, oh, it's gonna be a haiku. I see this. All right. So this is what we'll do. I will give y'all like 2 minutes to kind of get a haiku together. Haiku is 5, 7, 5. And then judges, y'all are going to send Prophet the name of the poet that you think has won the haiku battle. So we're gonna let's see, how are we gonna decide who goes first?
I have a number generator here, so if they want to each pick a number between 1 and 10, and whoever's closer to the number that the number generator gets to pick.
I love this, Arvin. Thank you for having that on deck because I did not have anything planned. Thank you, God.
Niggas would have said coin flip.
Oof. I'm broke. I ain't got no coins to flip on this motherfucker. All right. So let's see. Do y'all want to pick a number between 1 and 10?
7.
All right, Akila got 7. Torian, what about you? Torian. I think you're muted.
I think I think they might have bugged out.
Oh shit.
Cause
wait, I think I see them trying to come back on.
Sounds like he got scared and forfeited the match.
Dorian, are you here?
I know that the internet was kind of fuzzy because the connection. I don't
know what to do now.
Remix.
Say that again, Akila.
Oh, is he in a reading room? You think he had another device to come on?
Maybe. I don't have the host powers.
Arvin, can you do the honors, please?
the honors to do what?
Is there
Make sure
anybody
the Torian is not in the waiting room.
No, they are not.
Okay. What should we do? Because I have no idea what.
I'm mad that the light skinned nigga got a light skinned connection.
I can always take all the money.
Oh no, they disconnected. So, if you give it a minute, they might be back.
Okay.
Okay, so do some stalling.
I'm gonna do some stalling. What should I do to stall?
Tell us about Patreon again, because we have some big goals, right?
You should hit our Patreon up. So here's the thing. Earlier this year, we did a Patreon campaign where we said if we got 30 patrons, we would open up all of our events when we come back in person, because all of our events are free as fuck right now. But all of our events will be free for performers when we come back to in-person events. We have reached that goal, so coming back whenever we get off of lockdown, which means stay your ass at home so I can run these goddamn free events. Whenever we come back in person, our events will be free to all performers. The Berkeley Slam, the Oakland Slam, and the Alchemy Open Mic will be free for performers. Our next goal is if we can get $1,000 a month in donations.
1,500.
1,500. My bad, I misspoke. Don't quote me. $1,500 in donations a month. We will be able to open up our Oakland and Richmond events. So the Oakland Slam and the Rich Oak Alchemy Open Mic. Those will be free to all attendees. So the more you donate, the more resources we will have to be able to open up our doors to be more accessible. Because I don't know about y'all, but I remember being a broke little poet that couldn't afford to go to a slam or to an open mic because of a cover. And I personally believe that we need to have the spaces and that have, like, we can't talk about accessibility if we're not talking about making things accessible to impoverished people. We cannot talk about being revolutionary and like champions for social justice if we are not talking about the ways in which our setup is barring access to people for trivial things such as money. If we don't believe in capitalism, then we have to figure out a way to make socialism and not even just socialism, because that word like carries so much in so many people's hearts. But social responsibility. We have a social responsibility to make sure that everyone has equal and equitable access to artists and literary and writing communities in the Bay Area. That is my mission. That is Rich Oak's mission. So any help you can give will help. It looks, I've gotten word that Torian is trying to log back on. We will see, we will see. I think that's Torian. Torian, are you with us? I think you still need to connect your audio. Are you with us? Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're a little choppy. Try turning off your video.
Okay, let's do this back to
All right.
Hey, yeah, we can
Much
hear
better.
you. Okay, so back to choosing the numbers. I think Akila chose 7. Torian, what number are you choosing between 1 and 10?
5.
5. Okay, lit. So we got 7 and 5, Arvind. What's the number? I swear to God, if it's 6, I'm gonna cry. So it's 3 is the number, or are we generating a number? God fucking damn it. I knew I said it. Arvin, what do we do? The number is 6 and someone picked 5 and someone picked 7. What are we doing?
Okay, we're gonna try that again. That was annoying, but I apologize. Okay, one more time, because that was a tie, right? So
the IG live stream ended.
Oh, I mean, that's unfortunate. I'm not gonna restart it for.
On Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Yeah.
One of our judges is watching on the live stream on IG.
Oh shit. Okay. That's
they can't access it anywhere else?
It's easier for them to do it through IG. It was harder for them to go between YouTube and Instagram.
Oh wow. I am restarting that stream as we speak then. But in the meantime, can you both pick a number again between 1 and 10?
I'm gonna go 4.
4, okay. Okay.
I'm gonna say 2.
I swear, if it says a 3, we are flipping a coin. Okay, we are flipping.
If it starts at 3, I'm going to make the executive decision that
I'll flip a coin. But real quick, I'm just gonna restart the stream on Instagram.
Instagram. Don't y'all love technology? It's beautiful. You know.
Hey, no worries, that's why I'm here.
Arvind.
All right, okay, so once again, just so we can show that I am not faking this, I'm not just making up numbers. Here we go, the random number generator. We're gonna click it. Okay, it doesn't seem, we're gonna click it. All right, 10. So
who picked 4?
I think, wait, Torian picked 4.
You picked 4, right?
Yeah, okay, so you get to pick. Now, do you want to go first or second? Oh no. Oh no, no, not, oh my, not again. Wow.
Torian.
It's called a tie.
Okay, we're gonna call this a tie.
Wait, say it again.
No, Torian's there. Torian's here.
Wait, Torian, you're here?
Just heard him say something.
Wait. Torian, can you hear us? I can see like your mic is saying that you're trying to speak, but I can't hear you.
My life is crashing again. Repeat one more.
You want to go first or second? You won the number generator. All right, let's type it in the chat. Do you want to?
Okay, I think we should call it a tie. This is the universe saying this is not meant to be.
I want to see the haiku battle.
I want to see this haiku battle so bad, but also the internet's not allowing it to happen, and I have a blunt roll. And it's 10:30, which is blunt 30. So in the interest of like not holding up the show for another 10 minutes, I think we should call it a tie. And first and second will be split evenly. So that is.
Well, I would let's just. I mean, I would want to make sure that both of them are okay with that, though.
This looks like it's kind of an executive pimp decision that the universe made.
I was excited for the haiku, but you know, time is ticking. Time is a construct, so you know we gotta. And yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, y'all. We really did want to see this haiku battle. We were all kind of excited for it. Maybe we'll do like a Instagram live haiku battle between folks.
Yeah, let's do it that way. Most of the judges are on IG anyway.
Yeah, we'll figure out something to make a haiku battle happen if that's what people are interested in.
Okay, so Torian seems to be okay with the tie, though.
Okay. Yeah, and it looks like some of our judges are like mad tired. Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. We can't do a haiku battle tonight because technology, fuck technology. What we'll do is first and second place will split the prize, so $40 each. I want to thank Torian and Akila for being flexible. I want to thank Chardonnay, Hector, and every single person who touched this stage tonight. Thanks, FreeQuency. Yeah, just thank you every single person who touched this stage tonight. Thank you to all of our judges. Thank you to all of our patrons. Thank you to all of you sitting at home. We are going to be right back here next week. Right back at it again with the white vans and the great poetry. My name is Reggie. I have been your host for the evening. We shall see y'all next time.
Bye, y'all.